So it's the Weber Cup, the Ryder Cup of 10-pin bowling. Each match is worth a point. First team to 18 points wins the Weber Cup. Europe leading 4-2 after the first session. But here is Mike Mullin leading off the Baker, and he's led it off in the worst possible way with the 7-10 split. The Baker, by the way, is each man bowls in succession.
Well, this is a real tough break for the USA team here. Mike's made a very good shot, and unfortunately sometimes it does happen that you leave both the corner pins. Normally it's only just one, but it can happen. Only hope is a bounce out.
Missed it altogether, but as any bowler will tell you, if you're going to leave a frame open, you might as well do it in the first frame. This is Nick Halling along with Richard Hood, welcoming you to the Goresbrook Leisure Centre in Dagenham. When these two teams played their first Baker, the United States won it by just a point, but that is not the start they wanted. And here comes a man from Dallas, Dino Castillo. He won't want the split. He doesn't get it quite the opposite. Oh, he's very pleased with himself, isn't he? Taking the bow next. Oh, a hug from the skipper, Tim Mack. Tim in touch with his feminine side, clearly.
I'm not so sure about that, but I think it was that Dino's actually started to carry some strikes. He was struggling a bit.
Look at this. And now it's the big man, Tony Manna, from Omaha, Nebraska. A man who puts plenty of weight behind this ball. And on it goes. It's a bit wide, but it hooks back in. And when Tony Manna's on target, that's what happens. But he didn't get a hug from Tim Mack, he just got a low 5. All focus and attention.
That's a very good pocket hit from Tony there.
From the big man of the US team to the little fella. The man they call the Joker, Bill Hoffman. Just leaves the 10-pin, so that little streak comes to an end.
That's an excellent shot from Bill. Really would have expected 10 off of this. Bill looking to be playing a bit wider than I've seen him so far in the event, but nothing really got anywhere near that 10-pin. I don't really know why, but...
Now, we've seen a few of these missed, Richard. It just always seems so simple. Just the one pin to aim at, but we've seen them get left standing, but that was never any doubt at all. Safely spared. There's the Europeans, or certainly 4 of them, in the matching blue shirts that are just watching to see what target they've got to aim at. They scored 247 on their Baker, only to see the Americans nick it with 248. And the 5th and 10th frames of this Baker will be taken by the captain, Tim Mack, assuming that responsibility. Has bowled beautifully in this tournament so far, the man from New Jersey. Settled right into a rhythm on this lane, and just look at that. Left nothing to chance, did he? He has a little chuckle to himself as he goes back.
Well, this ball's come back from a long way. He's got this very, very close to the edge of the lane. Let's see. That's probably out on the 2 board. Wouldn't need to be much further right and it'd be in the gutter, but he's done it perfectly. Right back at the pocket, perfect strike.
You can see the funny side. Let's see if Mike Mullin will be laughing, who bowled a beautiful 279 in his individual match and yet still lost. The left-hander got the pocket that time, no mistake. And a double for Team USA.
Oh, well done, Mike. Really, it's just a little bit high, but I think he deserved it, because he didn't really deserve to leave that split in the first frame.
No, he was unlucky, wasn't he? So the New Yorker has done his bit. Here's the Texan.
Well, I wonder what Tim's reaction is going to be if Dino gets another strike here.
Dread to think. Oh, little bit of a bounce, wide, but no messing it, hooked back in. Dino loves it. Now, what reward does he get? Oh, a high five and a clip round the ear. Well, they're kind of building this fella up a little bit. He's certainly getting some special treatment, isn't he, from his teammates. Superb strike. Tim says, well done, son. It's up to big Tony Manna. That ball almost looking like a tennis ball in that giant hand of his, and delivered with ferocity down the lane. It's not all about power, it's about accuracy. Tony Manna's got them both. That's 4 in a row, Richard.
Yes, this is a good recovery from that bad break in the first frame. They're now looking at 220. That's if they just stay clean. If they find more doubles, then they can even improve on that. So at the moment, they're looking like setting a really stiff target for the Europeans.
They call him the Fridge after the American football player William Perry, the former Chicago Bear and London Monarch. He's not that big, but then again, who is? This fella certainly isn't. The twig-like Bill Hoffman. Didn't that happen last time for him as well?
That's identical frames for Bill. That's his second 10-pin. He gets no further part in this now, so he's got to be content with 2 spares.
Yes, the 10-pin striking twice against Bill Hoffman. Ooh, a bit thin, wasn't it?
A little bit closer to the gutter than he might have liked, but still relatively comfortably spared.
Just a little clip off the edge there. And so the skipper will tell you he saved the best for last himself. No, he's too modest for that, isn't he? But if you did have to back a man to finish off with 3 strikes, this is the fella you'd pick. Mac, there's one.
Well, let's strike out for 236. Any spare now would leave him with 226. 236 is fairly steep.
Decent score, that, isn't it?
226 is definitely attackable, I feel.
These fellas will know what to get. Steve Thornton on the left, Nico Tien-Pont on the right. Sometimes it can be an advantage to know what you need. Sometimes it can intimidate you. And there's the lane, all 60 foot of it. And for the first 40 foot of it, a film of oil. And then it dries out, and that's what gets that rotation to stop and the ball to hook in. Watch the hook that Mac gets here. Goes wide and hooks in. Boom. So it's 230 something, Richard, that's for sure.
Yep. Well, on the evidence of the first Baker game, 236 won't be enough. But it's still a tough target to beat.
Why do they call it a Baker, just out of interest?
To be perfectly honest with you, Tim...
You haven't got a clue, have you? You haven't got a clue. You're calling me Tim now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Tim on the monitor and this, yeah. To be perfectly honest with you, Nick, I'm not altogether sure, but I've got a feeling it's after the name of the person who invented the system.
Well, that's the way to finish it. 3 strikes. 236 for Team USA. They all seem pretty happy with themselves. Tim Mack leading the cheers, but they now have to just take their seats and watch and see what Team USA, Team Europe can come up with. 236 the bar has been set at for Team Europe. And it'll be interesting to see if they change the order around, and they have immediately. From that first Baker they played, Tien-Pont I think was bowling 3. He's now the lead-off man. The popular Dutchman with that distinctive style. Most bowlers these days are very smooth at the foul line, but he just gets that bounce, the Dutchman, and it works for him. It's only a fault if it causes you problems, and it certainly doesn't cause Team Pont any problems at all, that delivery.
Just the start Europe wanted. They're already up on the USA score. Mike was unfortunate with a 7-10 split in the first frame.
And now here's Steve Thornton from the South Coast, Bournemouth to be specific. Vastly improved bowler over the last 2 or 3 years, really has. Oh dear, now he had 1 or 2 problems with this format in the first match as well, didn't he? And here he is having problems again. Must be wondering who he's upset, because he's getting no luck at all here.
Well, this is much too heavy on the head pin. After 3-10, he'll be trying to bounce the ball off the 3-pin towards the 10.
It's not an impossible split by any means, but it's not a giveaway either, is it? You've got to get this one absolutely right.
This class of player would expect to make it 3 or 4 times out of 5.
And he does.
Maybe even better than that, but it's not regulation by any means.
But once again, Thornton unable to find the strike zone here in this Baker format. So here's Gary Verbruggen, the Belgian former world champion. Lost his singles match to Tim Mack, but bowled pretty well, it has to be said. 222. It's very good scoring in this tournament so far. Strike zone immediately, so are Team Europe, and that should maintain their little edge over USA, but not by much. There's 3 pins advantage. Look at the determination in that face.
Well, after 3 frames, Europe are clean, no opens, but USA had an open and a double in the first 3, so honours almost even. Crucial phase coming up after this frame when USA unleashed 4 in a row.
Tore Torgersen, the Norwegian, who's won everything. And who had 11 strikes in a row in his singles match and finished with 299. That's the kind of form he's in.
Well, I think that makes Tora 13 strikes and 1 9 count for the tournament so far.
Astonishing. Astonishing. So a slight edge to Team Europe, but a long way to go. Here's the captain, the Swede, Thomas Leandersson. Ooh, the 7-pin. Didn't want to know. I thought he'd bowled a pretty good ball there, but sometimes you just don't get what you deserve sometimes.
Yes, there's a good shot from Thomas. He's not going to be happy with that. Very disappointed. Really had the right to expect a strike, but that happens sometimes. Just got to pick the spare up.
Should be straightforward enough. Indeed it is. But that just tips it back a little bit. It's very close and very tense, this one.
Now it's 5 frames over.
And as you say, the advantage very narrow, Richard, but this is the point at which Team USA started racking up the strikes.
That's right, Team Europe effectively need another 4-bagger to stand any chance of winning this match.
Not wishing to put any pressure on anybody, of course, but Team Pont, who was the lead-off man, he got a strike then. Oh, but he should be. The 10 was a bit lazy, but it went.
Nico's bowling really well in this tournament. He's hitting the pocket an awful lot. He left a lot of 10 pins in his doubles match with Steve Thornton, but he was hitting the pocket consistently.
Well, I've got Team Europe ahead by just 2 pins here, but an awful lot of strikes they've got to match. And without wishing to put a jinx on Steve Thornton at all, He had a spare in his first ball in the first Baker, had a spare here in the first game. He left an open frame at this point. Surely he's not going to be that unlucky again. Oh, he deserved that. He absolutely deserved that, didn't he?
Yes, it looked like Steve made a reasonably big adjustment there. He's gone a little bit wider on the lane than he's been playing to this point. Got the ball out just that bit further, finished a bit stronger, and there goes the 10.
Ooh.
Late but great.
And his teammates delighted for him. So now it's up to the Belgian. Verbruggen with a strike. First time up. Europe just ahead by 2. But a lot of matching to do. A little bounce. Verbruggen gets it. 3 in a row. Turkey.
There's a great shot from Gary. With the determination on his face.
It's a real pressure ball.
He's looking for it all the way though.
Now, Torgerson, as you can see, if he can get a strike here, that is going to give Lee Anderson a bit of breathing room.
Well, it will give Thomas 3 pins to play with. So as long as he makes a good count and a spare, if Torgerson strikes, Europe should win.
So this is a vital ball. Got it. Well, he's given his team every opportunity here.
Well, should Thomas go 9 spare strike, they're going to win by 2 pins with a 2:38 game. So Thomas can't afford a bad count on his first ball, but basically any clean frame now will probably win Europe the match.
Isn't it amazing? The first game, the first Baker between these two teams was separated by just a pin, excuse me. Now it could be as close as 2 or 3 again. Tremendous response this from Team Europe. 4-bagger. A strike here really would put Team Europe in a healthy position. He's got it. He's got it.
That's it, game over. Europe are going to hit 240 something no matter what now.
Absolutely vital. And this has been a terrific response. All 5 men have bowled a strike in the second half of this Baker game. So Lee Anderson, icing on that cake. Well, if you're going to have a shot like that, you might as well do it there.
The USA are wishing he'd had that first shot. Then they'd have really been in with a chance, but Thomas had already wrapped the match up, so maybe just relaxed a bit on that shot.
Yes, they're over 240 already. So this one's academic. Oh, nice finish. Nice finish. 246 for Team Europe. They held their nerve and they've won this second Baker by 10 pins. And having lost the first match of this Weber Cup, it's Team Europe have now built a 5-2 lead.